Now we're back for FXA.
Right.
Now it's good.
I'm doing good, just
But
living life.
yeah, no, but
Yeah.
sorry, no, I was just wondering, man. So, sorry, when did you graduate?
In August 2020.
Yeah. Oh, say word.
So like
From what?
BBA.
At Stoga,
Like
right?
at Stoga, yeah.
How was their BBA program, man? Is it okay?
I mean, it's a degree, right?
I guess
It's
that's
4
fair.
years, and it's like it was international business management focused.
Yeah.
And then they had another BBA that's accounting and audit focused.
Oh, okay.
So I was in the international business
Right.
management
That's
side.
sick, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
How was DECA, dude?
DECA.
Remember
It was
a time
good.
ago when I saw you and your boy, me and Manaya?
Yeah.
DECA was
at
cool.
Laurier, yeah.
Yeah. After
Yeah.
that, I didn't do it though.
No.
Nah. Did you do it after that?
Yeah, I was president like the year
Shut
after.
up. The year after? Shut up.
Bro,
That's kinda
because you know
dope.
what happened?
What?
All of our exec team, like no shade to them, but like they all just like dipped and they didn't like transfer into like a new exec team. Like new president, new co-president. And I'm like, yo, I want to do DECA, so I guess I'll run it.
That's dope. That's sick that you stepped up, man.
Yeah.
I guess it's important. Like, I guess it's important if you have like, I don't know, situations where you have the opportunity to, get promoted or be in a position of like, a president in DECA. Like, you kind of have to actually take it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of
Yeah.
people, I feel like would be kind of afraid and they might back out and be a little too shy. It's dope.
No, I hear what you're saying. I think it's just who you are as a person,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah. Of course, it depends on who you are.
yeah.
I think it depends on what you want to do too. Like where you want to end up in life too. I find like that's kind of important. I think that kind of I think that kind of like dictates how you behave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause it's like if you're someone that's just like okay with having like a 9 to 5, then you might not be very, outgoing, or you're kind of just more reserved,
It's like I find that most of the people that were like presidents at other chapters,
Yeah.
they all like had something going on the side too, like maybe their own business. They had like that entrepreneurial spirit in them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, I know what you mean. I'm not surprised. Like, Mo, I feel like someone who's in that, and like you have like YouTube and shit going on, right? So like it makes sense that someone who
Yeah.
has like a bunch of stuff, someone who wants to do more than just one thing would take on that position. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like people who are natural in positions of leadership, who are natural leaders, are kind of good at whether it's like multitasking or sort of just taking on more.
Yeah.
Being okay
I
with the
found
pressure.
that like it might have been a bit more deeper than just like taking on like positions of like leadership.
Right.
But I've also found like a lot of people, it's like, I guess it's kind of the same. They just try and like lead by example
Yeah.
in a sense.
Yeah.
Not sure if that like makes sense.
Did you learn anything valuable from being president there?
Like
Yeah.
I'd say like project management and like just management as a whole.
Right.
Because you have like a whole team in different areas.
True.
And so you have to like communicate with them,
Yeah.
and ensuring like everything's up to date. And then like the people at like DECA Ontario or DECA Canada now, you need to keep in contact with them. It's just like
Yeah.
it gets busy.
How big was your chapter? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think we had 40 members
40 members.
last year.
Not too shabby, dude. And so how many people were you kind of like working with or like in charge of kind of?
Yeah, so we had 8 people on the executive team. That's including me. So we had like someone in finance, sponsorships, like
That's dope.
promotions and all that.
Right. That's sick.
So yeah,
What's going on with YouTube, bro?
YouTube
Yeah, man.
haven't uploaded in like 3 months, 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw you were doing a bunch of new like shorts and shit like that.
Yeah, I did some shorts, just like try it out. It was like a new feature rolled in,
Right.
and I found that the reach was pretty good.
Yeah.
But they were honestly just like some of my TikToks, you know, just
Right.
download them.
Just for the
re-upload
sake
them.
of more content type of thing?
That, and just like see like put some people on some game right now. Like some people are taking shorts because of their potential and their reach,
Yeah.
and just blowing up channels. They'll upload
Yeah.
these shorts, pull millions of views, incentivize people to subscribe to their channel, and now, you know, they met the metrics to get monetized, or, you know,
Really?
they have like a huge following at that point.
So why are shorts so beneficial to that?
Well, they were just rolled out in September, right?
Right.
So it's like a new feature YouTube wants to incentivize people to use them.
Oh, okay. Wait, oh, this is a YouTube feature?
Shorts, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just something you were doing.
No, it's a YouTube feature.
Oh, say word.
So it's videos, I believe, up to 1 minute long, like 60 seconds.
Oh.
And on the PC and like desktop version of YouTube, they all show up under shorts, right?
Oh, okay.
And
I
it's
didn't know
just
that.
the organic reach is there.
Oh.
So if
I
you're
thought,
yeah.
my bad. I thought that was your thing that you started
No,
doing.
no.
Oh, never mind. Because I just saw that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. I guess it makes sense though, man. Because if you see like, if you even just consider like TikTok and like or even like music, how short everything has become, kind of makes sense that like YouTube should and would be trying to cater towards that, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
wanting shorter shit.
Oh, for sure.
Because like everyone's attention span's getting shorter, you know, like what else are you gonna do?
Exactly.
I always thought that was kind of interesting, even with music, bro. Like I think the number that like executives are looking for is like 220 or 224 for like average song length or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, man. Because like, bro, when was the last time you heard a song that was like 3-4 minutes? 4 minutes.
Honestly, the only time really that I see those songs, they're like, you know, a movie in a sense. They have like a
True.
storyline.
True.
Like the music video is telling a story.
True.
Otherwise, it's like 2 minutes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
It's
you were
insane.
saying.
And like, I don't know. Like, I guess not being on TikTok, like I don't really see it, but like I do see it also like on Instagram or like YouTube, like how everyone things become shorter, you know? Do you think has it being shorter changed like or sorry, has the fact that everyone's attention span is shorter and like everyone's trying to incentivize shorter videos to engage more consumers,
Yeah.
do you think you're gonna adapt to that? Like you're gonna change your shit to having it shorter? Other than
Like
like the
me
shorts?
personally?
Yeah. Like the shorts, like aside from the shorts, like more like whatever type of video, you know?
Not for YouTube.
Right.
'Cause
Okay.
If, like, you know, I'm monetized now, so I can earn, but you can only monetize. No, you can monetize any length of video, but 8-minute videos, you can put in multiple ads in the video.
Right. So how do the
Where-
ads work? Like, do you choose? Like,
You choose, like, you can manually go in and select what time an ad appears.
oh, interesting.
And so, like, obviously, like, you want to set them before, like, a high, it's like a cliffhanger kind of.
True.
You know, you see something's about to happen, they're going to say something, put an ad. People want to see what's going to happen.
Damn.
They'll watch the ad, you get revenue. And
Yeah. Makes sense.
But in terms of, like, under 8-minute videos, it's only, like, either one ad or 2 ads. Either one at the start before the video or one after the video. But then, like, with YouTube Shorts, you can't monetize as of right now.
Interesting.
So it's just strictly, like, you know, the short form content, just to, you know, let people just fly through it.
Do you think it makes more
much
sense to
it.
put an ad at the beginning or at the end?
Depends, like, what your goal is.
Well, if your goal is just to monetize, like, get money from it.
See, like, if you put an ad at the start, sometimes YouTube puts a double ad, and so people don't want to watch that. They'll click off your video. But then
True.
if you put it at the end, it's like you're relying on getting that 100% watch time
Right.
for them to watch the ad. Or if
Right.
anything, they watch the video, ad appears, they click off because they watched the full video, right?
But it's still a dub. It's still a dub because they still watch the whole thing, though, right? You still got that view,
Still get the watch time,
right? But
So,
but
like,
you just don't
yeah.
get the money from the ad.
yeah, or, you know,
Yeah.
if it gets played like 2 seconds out of like a 15-second ad,
Yeah.
you still should be good for the most part.
Really?
Yeah, there's like so many metrics that come into play.
True.
You know?
I guess like there's such crazy like analytics and like different things like behind it, eh?
Bro, like I've been like studying it for like the past like 6 months now.
Really?
And I think I've got it.
Yeah.
I'm working on some projects like on the side,
Right.
like really specific niche
Right.
channels, and essentially trying to blow them up. And yeah, I'm just
Are those like
working
your
on it.
channels, or are you helping out with like other ones?
There's my channels, and then there's some bigger creators that I've worked with.
Oh,
just
who?
to like, I don't think I could really say. Like,
Really?
NDA.
Say word. It's like that.
Yeah.
Are you just in the background helping out?
Yeah, just like analyzing their analytics, understanding, you know, when viewers drop off, when
okay.
they're staying longer,
That's
you
dope.
know, doubling down on what works and understanding where their audience comes from, like all that analytics.
Right, like the background analytics. That's sick.
Yeah.
Analytics plays such a huge part in everything now, man. It's insane.
It's like everything's run on like an algorithm,
Yeah.
you know, especially on social media.
And not even just like one algorithm or two. Like there are so many different ones. Whether it's like for YouTube or Instagram, like they all operate in such different ways.
Yeah.
You know, and like
yeah.
just being able to kind of understand that and like study it is crazy. How do you study it?
Go straight up, you just like, you have to go into your analytics and just look at all the information that you have, all
Right.
the data.
Right.
And then a big part of it too is, like, you know, you're not using like one group of analytics from like one channel, because then it's like, you know, in stats class, you have to have different like
Right, of course.
groups when you, yeah, it's like that, analyzing different analytics on different channels, and then understanding like, oh, I see this is a pattern that's working, let's double down on this.
Right.
And then you see it keeps working, then you know for the most part,
True.
that's like one part of
A
it.
lot of trial and error type of thing, eh?
Yeah.
Is there anything that like on your channel specifically that you've seen like sticks more?
Yeah, so not really analytics, but in terms of my content.
Yeah, in terms of content.
Like, I don't know if you saw some of my recent content, like the past, I'd say 8-9 months.
I've seen some of them. I haven't seen the shorts.
Yeah, like a lot of it's like, it's for a kid's audience, but I found that, you know, when your viewer can relate to your content in a way,
Right.
my videos do better. Like if I'm filming at a school or in
Really?
a neighborhood,
True.
people can relate to that. Whereas when I'm filming in a forest,
Right.
then it's like no one's really walking through forests and they can't really relate to that.
I guess that makes
So
sense.
just like what happens in the video, like a lot of it's like skits, you know?
Right.
Like it's not real. It's for kids content.
Right.
Sorry if you're watching this and you're like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, they think to themselves like, yo, what if I'm walking in my neighborhood and this happens to me? I should watch this video
Right.
to, you know, be aware of like what's going on around me.
I guess that makes sense, man. Like
In a
if you
sense.
consider like any content, even like movies and music, it all kind of has to be relatable, you know? Like that was one of the biggest arguments for like Jay-Z at the end of his career was like, okay, bro, you're just rich now.
Yeah.
You know, you're just talking about you being rich. It's like people can't relate.
Right.
Even like that's why people love like rom-coms so much, is because they think
Rom-com?
romantic comedies. I
Okay,
don't know. I don't know why I call it that, but like romantic comedies or like whatever. People just want to be relatable, you know?
For sure.
And it makes sense.
Like in any aspect of life, like, you know, I see like, I was in LA, man, and some of these content creators, they're just like flexing everything, and you know, they're like flexing to their fans, and it's like, man, like no one's gonna relate to you if you're just like shitting on them.
It's true.
And just, you know, oh, look at me, I have this and that, we're so different. It's like, you know, like humble yourself, try and relate to your audience, connect with them, and, you know, try to have some meaning in their life, inspire them.
Yeah.
And that's
So
just
then,
like how it is.
So then, why is it that so many content creators are trying to flex though? Because it's like I feel like there's this weird like paradigm almost where like, although you should be relatable and everyone wants to watch relatable shit, there's also that kind of like, whoa, he's rich, like let me see his whips and his clothes, you know what I mean? Like that, like, whoa, sick house. I feel like people still kind of want to see that, no?
Yeah, I think there's like maybe two parts to that. one part I think is the curiosity.
Yeah.
You know, like I remember FouseyTube, like he
Yeah.
fell off and came back, right?
Did he come back? I haven't seen FouseyTube in time.
He's doing pretty good.
Is he?
And he started this series called I forget the series what it was called, but essentially he did house tours
Okay.
with like different creators
That's dope.
and saw how they live. So people want to see that stuff.
So is it kind of like, is it more of like a balance of like having a humble personality, but then having like maybe your house or like your whip or whatever to be extravagant? You know what I mean? Maybe like be in front of a Lambo, but not talking shit. You know what I mean? But still
Yeah.
being humble. You know what I mean? Is that kind of a balance?
That's in a way, yeah. But like I was saying, like, you know, Fousey, like, and the guys he films their house tours, they're not flexing on people, like, look at my
Yeah,
house and all.
they're just talking about it.
But like some people, it's like, you know, it's like, oh, look at my rollie, look at my whip, look at, you know, I'm wearing Gucci and all this.
Yeah.
It's like people will see that and they'll find it like they have that sense of curiosity where they watch it.
Definitely.
But then, and like the creator at that point's creating and bringing that content for his audience to feed their curiosity.
Right.
Whereas other creators, it's like, I feel it's a sense of insecurity within them. And, you know, that's just like what makes them happy in a way, you know, they just have
True.
to like shit on others. It's like,
I guess you got to remember that that's their reality, you know, at the end of the day. Like, that's their insecurity. Like, what are you going to do?
yeah, it's like at that point, if someone else, you could tell like, you know, maybe that's the case with them. Like I found with a lot of these creators over their YouTube journey, as they like progress in their career and stuff, they started off with like a bunch of friends, and by the end of it, they have like no one, but they have all this money, and you know,
Really?
they're sad. They're sad inside.
You saw that like personally in LA?
I seen like through videos and
Oh,
like,
okay.
I met some of these creators and they said it themselves. They're like, you know, I came to LA with like my team and everything. We were doing good. We're all together. And just like all the stuff that happens over the years, people leaving each other, people, you know, not being grateful for
Right.
what that main creator gave them,
Right.
and thinking they did it themselves and leaving him.
Right.
It's like it just leaves like him or her at the end of the day like alone, and they don't know what to do, you know.
I guess like the idea of like fame and money is such a weird and crazy thing, bro. Because people are just like in LA like chasing all this shit, but then you kind of forget where you're coming from. Like you kind of forget who you are, and it's
Yeah.
just, I've never been in that situation, and maybe I will like later when I start getting rich. But like, like how do you just kind of like, I don't know, speaking from someone who hasn't had that type of like wealth and like fame, how do you forget about all that, man? Like how do you forget about where you came from, you know? Like
Yeah.
speaking just from myself, like you can't forget your roots, bro. Like that's where you're from. Like that's who you knew, you know? Like how can
No,
you just
for
change
sure.
up like that and be a dick?
I think at some point, yeah, it's like that's you, like we were saying,
Yeah.
about, like their insecurity and all. But like a big part of it too is like when other people leave you and you were like the provider for them.
I guess that's true. That's
Like
a different story.
Jake Paul, for example, like when he went to LA with his team, Team 10. They're all doing their thing, prospering.
Yeah.
And then, you know, next thing you know, buddy over here has a mill on YouTube, mill on Instagram, a mill on like Musical.ly, TikTok, and then they leave Jake and act like they did it all himself.
Right.
When, you know, this guy had like 10 mil across all social medias, and he decided to like put you on or,
Yeah.
you know, bring you with him. It's like, yeah, and then you leave the guy, and, you know, at the end of the day, he's just like, he's sad inside, he's hurt, he has
Yeah.
no one, just like a big house, he has nice cars, but he doesn't have real friendships
Yeah.
or, you know, genuine people around him,
I guess like that just goes to show that money ain't shit, bro.
for real.
Like all these
Like-
whips and stuff, like they're cool, don't get me wrong, like I'd love to be sitting in a nice whip and everything, but like if you're gonna choose one or the other, man, you have to make a proper decision, like a proper choice. Like what are you gonna choose? And if you choose the material stuff and like the money and the wealth and the fame, like
Right.
come on, man.
It's like,
not the same.
I think at the end of the day, you should do what makes you happy,
True.
and, you know, like follow your dreams, and even if you're happy and you know you don't have like a mansion and a Lambo, as long as you're happy, it's like,
I
what
agree.
can anyone take away from you?
I agree.
But
And I forget like so many people, and I feel like so many people kind of forget about that, like the idea and like the importance of happiness.
right,
You know what I mean? People, it's so easy to just kind of forget like what are you chasing? Like, are you really chasing to get rich, or like, you know, like what are you after? Like, what is your goal? Because like I feel like a lot of people nowadays have this goal of like this idea, this need to be wealthy, and like that's cool. Like if that's what you want to do, then go for it. But like, are you happy while you do it, and like, are you happy after you do it? You know, like
Yeah.
I feel like we have to be a little bit more self-aware as
No,
a
for sure.
generation. You know,
for sure.
I feel like a lot of people just aren't really aware of themselves. It's kind of weird. I don't know.
No, I agree for sure.
I mean, bro, but nah, anyway, the other thing that I was actually wondering was, like, when I saw that you're in LA and stuff, like, the people, the content creators that you met,
Yeah,
do they have, like, what is like, their work ethic? Like, do they have, like, some crazy type of work ethic? Like,
their work ethic.
yeah. Like, how well, I mean, if you got them to know that well, like, did you see them
Yeah.
really grinding like that?
A lot of it, honestly, I see like through social media on their
okay.
Insta stories.
Right.
I've seen some of it in person and just like know what they're talking about. And some of them, it's insane.
Really?
Like their day in the life, it's insane.
Really?
Like I know some of them, they'd be waking up at like 7 a.m., hit
Yeah.
the gym, grab breakfast, come home, they'll film like, 4 or 5 TikToks to schedule for the day,
Right.
grab some lunch, maybe go to a meeting with like, their talent agency.
Right.
After that, chill with friends maybe, go film a YouTube video, go out
Right.
for dinner. And then you have like the paparazzi come in to
Jeez.
check in on you. And
That's jokes.
it's like, it's action packed. I'd say a lot of them for the most part, they're grinding. They got a good work ethic.
I guess like you have to, right? Like you kind of forget that like if you really want to get to that level, you have to be out here like hustling. Like you have to be
Yeah.
up at 6, 7 a.m. getting in a workout and then starting your day, you know?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people I find like I've talked to a few guys about this, and it's like I feel like a lot of people are just okay with being not okay with being, but a lot of people like want that level of success but aren't understanding what it really takes behind the scenes. A lot of people will say like, yeah, I want to get rich, but not a lot of people are really that committed to putting in the work. You know what I mean?
It's like what you say is one thing and then what you do is another.
Literally.
And I think a big part of it too is just like in your brain how you're wired, and not even necessarily how you're wired, but how you can train yourself mentally.
True.
To really understand where you want to go and to get there.
Yeah, I feel like you definitely have to like train or change like your mental, your psychological makeup to really like prepare yourself and like understand like, okay, like this is what I'm gonna do, and I have to put in like 10-12 hours of work a day, or like 13-14, whatever you're doing,
Right.
and like really run with it, you know?
Absolutely.
And it's insane. Are you doing that with FXA?
Not
grinding?
necessarily like FXA as a brand, yes. Not like my YouTube, because that's what most people know.
Right.
I do, but yeah, like sometimes 16, 18-hour days. Just like
I rate it. That's dope.
it's
That's
tough.
sick.
But
Hey, that's what
like-
you gotta do, man.
yeah.
So
But
like,
the number one thing I gotta say is like take care of your health. That's number one.
okay.
Like don't neglect your health. Your goals, like they'll come eventually if you're working
Right.
towards them.
Right.
But get your sleep. Even like the minimum, if you need 4 hours to feel great, do that.
Yeah.
Exercise, eat healthy.
Yeah.
But sooner than later, like if you don't make time for
True.
your health, then
Because when you're older, like there's not much you can do, right? Like you've grinded all this time and stuff, but like you're deteriorating and you
Yeah.
haven't really like kept yourself up to date, you know?
Yeah.
And at that age, when you're older, there's only so much that you can really do at that point. Like it's borderline too late.
I'm sure you've heard like older people telling you, don't chase money,
Yeah,
chase happiness,
Definitely.
take care of your health.
definitely.
It's like personally, I realized that like this past month too. You know, just like health issues coming up, you know, lack of sleep, just mentally not being there right. And that just like it messes with you.
Definitely.
Like in all aspects of life.
Definitely does, man. I feel like a lot of people, I feel like the idea of health is, it's weird. Like it's weirdly overlooked, because like I want to say like everyone's sort of in tune, because there's all this like awareness shit on Instagram. Like you'll see people sharing stuff about like mental health, or even like exercising, and like you see it, but like there's a difference between sharing it and talking about it and actually doing it, like you said. Because I feel like a lot of people are still not very in tune with their body and their brain, and keeping it up to date. So yeah, that's actually a good point, man. It's very easy to forget when you're like focused on shit and you're focused on like your dreams and your aspirations, to sort of like take a break and like look in the mirror, you know?
Yeah, just like look in the mirror, look around you, you know, check in on yourself or others, and, you know, just make sure like you're doing good and feeling good.
Yeah. It makes sense too, because
like,
like,
as cliche as it sounds, it's like if you don't take care of yourself, then like, you know, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
If you're like sick in a hospital bed.
And like if you're not gonna take care of yourself, who will, really, at the end of the day?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I feel like, and if you think about it, like your body is the machine that's kind of like going towards these goals, right? You're trying to get, you know, 1 mil subscribers or followers, or you're trying to get like $1 million. At the end of the day, like your body and your brain is the one doing that. And if you're not taking care of that vessel, that vehicle that's on its way to that goal, then you're just going to stop halfway and kind of get screwed. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You're going to have to pull over and wave somebody down to fix you, you know?
Get a
like,
flat tire,
yeah.
pull over and see who's going to help.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's kind of a gamble, really, at the end of the day. Like, who is going to help you, you know? And that's kind of, I guess that's a whole nother discussion on like who is around you, you know? Personally, I feel like I'm pretty lucky with like some of the homies that I have, like the guys that I know, like they're all sick dudes, you know, whether it's them trying to like really strive to what they want to accomplish, or like just being ride or die, like really being there, you know?
No, for sure.
And I feel like if you're lucky enough to have a circle like that understands that everything is more than just money, and that it's more so about accomplishing your goals and sort of like staying on your path, then I feel like, dude, you're wealthy in just that, you know?
It's like the saying, like health is wealth. Not just health, but like so many other aspects of life.
True. I feel like the idea of wealth transcends from just finance to like your emotional and physical well-being, like your social environment, you know,
what
who's
do you mean,
around
like
you.
transcends from finance?
Like it's not just the idea of being rich with money. Like you're rich and wealthy with emotion and love, you know, and satisfaction. I think that's a big thing.
Sure.
Satisfaction too. You got to be satisfied with what you do. Like, are you happy with it? You know, are you cool with it?
Yeah,
I think that's pretty important.
Exactly.
I think that's pretty important.
It's like, I think a lot of people, you know, they don't value the other areas of success.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like, I know some people, they'd say, you know,
yeah, keep going. Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah, and it's bro, what camera do you have?
Canon M50.
I don't know, like this one, since it's a DSLR, like it shuts off every 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And I think I'd have to go through like hardwired or whatever, like so it doesn't do that. But apparently it's a tariff thing, because like cameras that record over 30 minutes continuously aren't photography cameras, but instead like camcorders. So there has to be like some distinction, whatever, for tariffs. But anyway, but yeah, sorry, bro. What were you about to say?
No, what were we saying? Oh yeah, a lot of people, you know, they talk about like, oh, I want to be successful, I want to live a healthy life and all that. But a lot of people, you know, they'll, like, everyone says take care of your health, and people will spend like, you know, 2-3 hours a day working out or watching their diet. But when it comes to really being successful and putting in that work, it's like they neglect it in a sense.
True.
You know, they think just because they talk about it that they're actually doing something.
True.
But, you know, it's like,
I guess that's a good point too, man, because it's like just because you're sitting there telling yourself all this shit
Yeah.
doesn't make it true.
Yeah.
You're kind of just lying to yourself, and that's a good point. I never really like thought about that. You know,
I found that in myself too. You know, I'm sure other people could relate.
how so?
Like, I'd be like working, you know, let's say for 1, 2, 3 hours, and then in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, I need to work out, take care of my health too. I go work out, bro. I'm spending like 2.5 hours, 3 hours at the gym.
Jeez.
But then I go home and it's like, I'm telling myself, you know, I did 2 hours of work earlier. I'm talking about grinding and, you know, like staying up late, putting in that late night shift and all.
Yeah.
But I'm not actually doing it.
Right.
And it's like, you know, as much time as you're putting into like your health, for example, you need to also put that into your
True.
your work, your business, whatever it may be.
I guess it is like a pretty delicate balance.
Yeah.
Cause like you're actually right, man. Cause I do find myself doing that once in a while too. Like I'll do like half an hour, 2 hours of homework, and then I'm like, yo, I did bare today. When in reality, I have to write 2,000 or 3,000 words in 2 days. You know,
Yeah.
and it's not proportionate. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
the amount of time that I have until something is released or something is due. I should have put in way more work considering I have 2, 3, 4 more days until it's supposed to be done. You know what I mean? But if it's like a week or 2 weeks until it's supposed to be done and I do 2 hours or half an hour, then it's like whatever, you know? I still have all this time and I can use the rest of my day to do a bunch of other shit. But if you're not balancing it in like a proportionate way, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think it's like a big part of it too is like you have to have that obligation like to yourself, your friends,
Yeah.
your family to be successful.
Yeah.
And that comes in through putting in the work. You know, why is everyone like, you know, oh, I have to work out today and get my workout in, you know, watch my diet. But then at the end of the day, it's like you want to be successful, but you're not even putting as much time into
True.
you know what your definition of success is.
Yeah.
Even though you tell yourself that you are.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
And it's so easy to just lie to yourself.
Yeah.
It's so easy, bro. Like you can literally, like as we're saying, like I put in an hour work and I'm doing all this shit, but like,
Yeah.
but I think it's you have to be very self-aware and really like evaluate yourself and like look at yourself from an outside point of view and be able to say like, yo, and question yourself and be able to say like, did I actually do that work? You know what I mean? And if you can sleep happy at the end of the day with what you did, then like that's up to you, you know? But like
Yeah.
I think a big thing that a lot of people need to do is just be more self-aware, bro. Like really understand yourself, not from your point of view, you know? Like
Yeah.
like have like an outer body experience in the sense where like you're not just looking in the mirror, like you are looking at yourself and you're able to understand yourself from like someone else's shoes. And I feel like if you could do that, I think that's a big skill to be able to have, you know?
It's like on a deeper level,
Yeah.
not like surface level.
Yeah, on a deeper level.
And just, you know, take different aspects of your life
Yeah.
and, you know, like, I don't know, rate yourself, I don't want to say judge yourself on
Well,
it,
I
but
mean-
just like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
No, I definitely know what you're saying. And even if you say judge, I feel like it's not necessarily a bad thing to judge someone. Like, you know what I mean? I think we just kind of assume it's a bad thing, but
Yeah.
obviously it can be depending on how you do it. But if you're judging yourself, like, it's kind of important to be a little hard on yourself. Like, it's important to really be able to take a step back and see yourself on a deeper level. Like, really evaluate your insecurities. You know, evaluate why
Right,
you're
right.
chasing these different levels of success and these goals. You know,
For sure,
I feel like
for
a lot
sure.
of people, like I admire the people that want to be successful or they want to have 1 million subscribers just as a goal and because they love it and because they want to. But like I'm very different in the sense where like I've evaluated my insecurities and I've realized that the reason why I want to be successful is just because my drive and my motivation is all based on the insecurity of failing. You know what I mean? Because some people can like just chase and do it and like whatever on a whole nother level, but my thing has always been like the insecurity of failing and like worried about like not achieving something. You know what I mean? That's been my thing.
No, I think that's really good though to put it in that way.
Yeah.
with me, a big part when I started like this whole like entrepreneurial and like creator journey,
Yeah.
it was more so trying to like prove people wrong.
Right.
People telling me like, why are you starting a YouTube channel? Why are you like doing these TikTok dances, or just
Yeah.
like
I know
trying to,
exactly
like,
what you mean, bro.
tell me I can't do something. So I'm trying to prove it to them, but like I don't need to do that.
Right.
I need to do it for myself.
Right.
You know?
No, I know what you mean,
So-
man. That's actually like that's a huge thing for me too. Is like there have been a bunch of people who have like doubted me. Like in school, for an example, never really had the best marks simply because like I can understand that school isn't everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can easily tell you that like school doesn't mean shit. And like growing up in like elementary school, middle school, and high school, even in university, I see that. You know, a lot of people can't really see that. A lot of people
Right,
are really
right.
focused on the traditional social values of school. Whereas I completely understand that I can achieve so much more other than just the academic route. And
sure.
because of like my grades that have just been average, people have always kind of doubted me and just assumed that just because I'm not as good in school, I'm not going to be as good at other shit, which doesn't make any fucking sense. You know, so that's I totally agree in the sense where like I have that chip on my shoulder and I'm like, okay, bet, like you think I
Yeah.
can't do it? Like I and even playing sports, like I've always kind of enjoyed that trash talk and enjoyed people saying like
No,
you're
for
shit.
sure, for
I'm like,
sure.
okay, bet. I like it.
It's like, thanks for that extra boost of
Deadass.
motivation, that extra boost of gas.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
More chips on my shoulder, bro.
great way to put it. Yeah.
What do you think about the idea of failure?
Failure?
Yeah, like what comes to mind, bro?
Failure. See, I think a lot of people with failure, they directly like correlate it to where they want to be in terms of success.
Okay.
So let's say my definition, not me personally, but let's say
Right.
for example, my definition of success is, oh, you know what, I need this Lambo, I need this Rollie and this mansion,
Right.
and like 100K in the bank. That's success to me.
Right.
So failure in that sense would be if I'm working like a 9 to 5 job, have like 5K in the bank and driving like some beat up whip. But I don't think you can compare failure to success as just an opposite.
Right.
I heard one guy say this. Imagine you have a Rollie, you have like a mansion, you have the Lambo that I want, all that stuff that I want, but then I came up, put a gun to your face and robbed you of your car keys, of your Rollie, your house keys, and now I got that. I commit fraud, for example. I have all this money to afford all that stuff that I say is success to me. But it's like, when I get to that point, am I really successful because I now have that?
True.
Am I not a failure anymore?
True.
No, in my eyes personally, if someone did that, committed fraud and
Yeah.
bought all this stuff, it's like, I think they're a failure more than the guy that's like barely getting by, but he's like honest in
True.
how he did it.
True.
Just like,
It's a really good way of thinking about it, actually.
I think the main like takeaway from that is don't think failure is the opposite of success for you.
It's a good way of thinking about it. I think
You know?
I've always thought like failure isn't bad. Like you have to be able to fail in order to succeed. Like you got to go down in order to go up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a balance. Like to have black, you have to have white. To have nothing, you have to have something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people take the idea of failing, whether it's in school or whether it's even in business, they just take it so awfully, and people aren't very used to the idea of failing and how to fail. You know what I mean? Like I think that's really important. Is how do you fail?
Yeah.
And I think personally, it's like you fail by assessing it, by addressing it, and by accepting it. You know what I mean? 3 A's, a triple A I just came up with. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, you just have to be able to look at it and understand what went wrong, what you did wrong, and how to improve the next way. You know, and I feel like a lot of people can just say that, because I've heard a lot of people saying it, but it's like, can you really take that L and be okay with it? Like I've taken many L's in school, taken many L's in life, and it's just like, you got to keep going, bro. Like you can't just let that hold you back. And are you gonna learn from it? Is the question.
That's a huge part. I think, like if you look at it as, everything in life you have to pay your tuition for, whether it's school or learning video editing.
Yeah.
If like I had like a 40-hour project on Premiere crash on me, I had
Shut
to
up.
start from the start. Yeah.
Shut
And I
up.
just saw that as, I'm just paying my tuition to the game. I'm paying it towards learning how to video edit and all. It's like through the process you're gonna be tested.
Right.
It's about like your ability to get up and persevere, push through that,
Right.
and understand what went wrong in that area.
Right.
Like it may have been like an overload of transitions or effects that caused it to crash and I lost everything.
Right.
So next time, I won't do that again, or I try and change my workflow when I'm editing to
Right.
make everything just like much smoother when it renders out or whatever it may be. It's about learning from it and trying not to make that same mistake again.
Yeah. That's what life really is, right? Just
Right,
learning from
right.
it. Would
Exactly.
you? Sorry. Yeah.
No,
gonna
I
say
was
something?
saying exactly. Yeah, you're right.
No, but I
That's
was.
it.
What did you like? Was there anything that you learned specifically in LA?
In
Any
LA.
key takeaways? Because I've never been there. But in terms of like whether it's work ethic or whether it's YouTube, like whatever.
Controversy is good
Okay. How?
in a sense. It's like you don't have to go out there, and I'm not saying like be a dickhead and do like all this bad stuff to people,
Right.
but it's like more so if people are talking about you, whatever way it may be, even if something negative is directed at you, but if you can keep them talking about that topic, but not necessarily saying like, yeah, I did this and I did this negative thing and all this negativity is plastered on my name, but just keeping that topic on the surface and having people always referring to you.
Right.
It, like as a social media creator, the more like publicity or clout, whatever you want to call it, it's like the more eyes on you as a creator, and that's like the attention. I should reword it, not controversy, but more so attention. Like, not all attention is bad.
True.
No way.
I mean, like, at the end of the day, the bottom line is like, yo, the eyes are on you. Like, what are you gonna do with it? Whether it's through a little bit of controversy.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would assume that would be like a very, very a careful balance of controversy, because it's like it could go way left and screw you, and now your image is just tarnished, or it
sure,
can go
for sure.
right in the sense where like, okay, it's a little bit of hate or it's a little bit of controversy, and now you've
Yeah.
got all these followers. So I think it can go either way. Just depends on how you use it.
Exactly.
Good publicity is,
Like-
or any wait, what is it? Any publicity is good publicity or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that Trump
I
that said
think-
that?
I think that's who?
Is that Trump that said that?
Donald Trump?
Yeah, is that him?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I just remember I don't know. Fuck it. I could just be making shit up. But even him, bro, like a lot of his stuff that I seen like way back, like before he was running for president or whatever, a lot of it's kind of interesting the way he just sort of used like the media and like used any type of like negative stuff
Yeah.
in his favor, And I feel like that's
Like
kind
in
of
what way?
I don't know. Like there was this one thing where like when he was making skyscrapers and stuff in New York, he got like a 20 million or something, 2 billion, something stupid tax cut, right? And this reporter's like, man, why did you get all this tax cut? Like there's all these people in New York that are gonna have to make up for that, whatever. You just kind of fucked all the citizens. And he was like, I only got 2 mil because I didn't ask for 4, that type of shit. Like say being able to kind of spin it and kind of make it like a little funny or a little honest. It's kind of like a cool skill to be able to have, I suppose,
Just like taking the talking point and just like turning it into like the lesser evil in a sense.
Yeah, I suppose.
Maybe in a funny way.
Because like there was the one thing where he said, there was the one thing like in the debates time ago, I think it was maybe the first or second debate, I don't know. But there was the whole fuck her in the pussy thing
Oh yeah.
from like the bus, right? Was that what that was? When he was talking about like locker room talk or whatever. Do you remember what I'm talking about? Where there was the audio clip from when he was walking off the bus.
Yes, it's like a brief.
Yeah, it's very brief. Anyway, point is they bring it up in the debate, and then he goes, "Hey man, at least I'm not Bill Clinton," or something like that, and he just completely changes it. Yeah, I think he said something like that, or maybe he said something like, "It wouldn't be like Nancy Pelosi or someone," but basically he just brought in a whole nother person.
Yeah.
And although like, it's weird, the way I saw it was like he took the question, he still answered it, but he sort of absorbed it in the sense where he grabbed it, he caught it, and then sort of just misdirected it into something completely different. And I remember like the crowd was laughing and shit, like people were loving it, you know?
Isn't there like a term for that? I'm not sure if it's like the same thing, but I was on Twitter and I saw someone posting, it was like a politician, I believe, saying something, and someone called it gaslighting.
Gaslighting. I don't know.
I think that's the term. Not sure if you're aware
I mean,
of
I'm gonna be in public relations in September, so like,
Oh yeah.
when I learn, I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like that's kind of why I chose public relations though, because like I feel like one, I'd be good at it, and two, it's kind of like fascinating to me, you know, like
Yeah.
how Trump or like how a company can sort of like take on some hate and then like flip it into something else. I just
No,
think that's
for
kind of
sure.
dope, you know?
I think, yeah, like you said, I think it's a skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just fun to be able to like portray yourself, not yourself, but like I see it as a challenge to be able to portray like a situation into something completely different, you know? And if you can do it well, then that's sick. I think that's pretty cool.
For sure. I think you have to be really aware in that sense.
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Anyway, bro. Oh, okay. The other thing I was wondering, you just said that FXA is a brand as opposed to just your YouTube channel. How is it a brand? Like, what are you doing with it? I didn't know you were trying to make like a whole thing with it.
Yeah, I don't know, like,
I mean, if you don't want to
like-
say it, it's fine. But like, I just didn't know you were doing more than just that.
I don't even know if I'm doing that, if I'm being honest.
Yeah?
Or if I just said that in the moment. But it's just like, it's more so FXA is like my YouTube and like all my handles on
Right.
social. But that's like what people know me by, and you know, I think in that sense it's like a brand, but not like officially.
I know what you mean. I feel like it's pretty important to treat almost anything that you're trying to get attention for, whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it's like Anatolia, for an example. We try to treat that as a brand, because at the end of the day, like, brand doesn't necessarily mean a company, doesn't mean like a whole board of directors or executives, doesn't just mean like, I don't know, it doesn't mean sponsorships necessarily. It's just, the way I see it is like, how do you treat it? Like, you yourself as a person, you're a brand in itself.
For sure. Yeah.
It just depends on how you move and how you see things, and like how you act, how you post shit on TikTok or YouTube, like, you know. Do you get what I mean? Like, brand doesn't necessarily, for me, just mean a business. It can mean a whole lot of different things.
Yeah, I heard that too. Like, you as a person are a brand in yourself.
Yeah,
You know?
definitely.
Yeah.
Because like, I guess what I mean is like the idea of a brand is all about like how people see you, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think too, like, with that, a lot of people, they'll think like a company or like an organization or whatever it may be as a brand. But if you look at yourself too, like, there's so many people out there who their name that they're born with and their self is like a brand. Like, I'm not sure how to put it, but it's like, it's so clear that they're a brand
Yeah,
as well.
definitely.
Like, I think like Donald Trump, we were talking about Trump. I think like that's a great example of a person that's a brand.
Definitely.
Know
And
what I mean?
I definitely, like, looking at his earlier years before all the hate that he got, whatever, like, if you really kind of evaluate what he has done, like, with the media and, like, news reports, or even, like, with, like, reality TV, not reality TV, but more so, like, celebrity gossip type of networks and shit like that, it's pretty, like, you could use it as, like, a good example of, like, how he sort of, like, got attention and sort of, like, how he how he himself as a brand was moving, you know?
For sure.
And I feel like he's definitely a good example. Because, like, bro, who didn't know Donald Trump? Like, even before, right? I feel like if you want to sort of get yourself known, like, yo, you and yourself are a brand. Like, you're a business.
Exactly. Yeah.
Definitely have to treat you. I don't know. That's the way I treat myself. Like, that's the way I kind of see a lot of things is, like, at the end of the day, this name that you have, whether it's your personal name or maybe it's, like, a little pet project or, like, something creative.
Yeah.
It's a brand, bruh. It really is.
For sure.
But I see Full Send. I see that brand on you. Have you been keeping track of Full Send?
Yeah. Nah, like the past 3 videos, I haven't seen them, but
No?
I've been following them more on like Instagram and where they are in their journey.
Right.
Just not necessarily the videos.
Right. I've always admired like their evolution and sort of their brand and how that in itself has like blown up.
They're like killing it.
I agree. Like I think if you just compare the amount of time it's been since they've really been on the scene and what they've been able to do while they're on the scene is huge. I think it's crazy. Like I'm not really big on like YouTube and like content creators and stuff like that. Like really in that world. But the fact that I even know Full Send and Nelk, all that, like it's pretty impressive in my opinion.
Did you ever run into them when they pulled up like to Laurier for a prank or Waterloo?
Did they pull up at Laurier?
Yeah.
Shut up.
I'd say
which
like
one?
2017.
That would have been my first year. No, I didn't.
It was like
word.
move-in day on Res.
Wait, did they do it in front of? Do you know the townhouses across from the gym, on the other side of university?
Hazel?
No. So okay, you know the plaza right there, Mosey's.
Yeah.
A little just above the hill, there's a bunch of those like identical houses, like townhouses. Was it there?
Yeah, I'm not even sure about that. I think if they did it at Laurier, it would have been just on campus,
right?
And messing with like the people that like the ambassadors on campus, like by the soccer field and up by the 2-4 building.
Did you see them? Like, did you see the video?
I saw the video.
Yeah.
I think it was Brock University for the move-in prank.
Right.
But I know they came to Conestoga for something.
Really?
Laurier, Waterloo.
I didn't know that.
Just like, yeah.
That's dope. One of my buddies said though, like, he hasn't been rocking with them as much because of how much they've blown up. They've obviously changed. First of all, like, it makes sense that any brand, any whatever, once you kind of get to another level, your content and your shit that you're putting out is gonna change. That's given, But
sure.
he just made the point where like, yo, they're kind of selling out. Do you agree?
Do I think they are?
Like, what do you think about that comment? What would you have to say if someone said that Nelk is selling out?
I get where they would see that.
Right.
After like FaZe Banks invites them to the Clout House,
Right.
they live in there, and then they pop off. Their production is like on the next level, and just everything, selling out merch and all. I'd say they're mainstream now.
Yeah.
But I don't know about selling out. Last winter, I met them
At the food drive?
Yeah.
So what was that? That was sick.
That was 6 Buzz and Full Send, like a food drive, I believe, for around Christmas time.
Yeah.
It would have been 2019 Christmas if it wasn't COVID. And I ran into them LA in August, LA last year in January.
Right.
So just I wouldn't say they sold out. Like they were still real genuine, down to earth when I talked to them.
That's dope.
And yeah.
And it seems like, to your point earlier about like, teams breaking up and people not fucking with each other, just from what I've seen, like it seems like they're still fucking with each other, like they're still together, despite all like despite them blowing up,
For the most part, like, never mind like what happened with 905, but
oh, true, I forgot about that.
I think they're still friends though with him, like on a personal level.
I think so.
They just bad for the brand.
Cause like, yeah, like at the end of the day, like, I feel like if you really are boys and one of your buddies did that type of like fuck shit, you kind of have to be able to like, as the person who did that, you kind of have to be able to like say like, okay, you're my boys, like I get it.
Yeah.
It's bigger than me and you know, it's bigger than that. It's about the brand.
For sure.
And like, even as boys, like if you can't tell them like, hey man, you gotta go on like a genuine note, I feel like that's different, because like then you really aren't boys. If you're like beefing about it and you're saying like, and if you're talking more so about like the money, then I feel like you're not boys. But if you're talking about the brand and you're talking about something bigger, then everyone should really just be able to understand, like on a mutual note, that like, yo, it's all love, but you messed up and this is what happens when you mess up, you know?
Yeah. See, and like a lot of their fans, you know, they have like, you know, the hockey guys and like all that full send crushing beers and all. Yeah. But then they also have like those little kids, and they just like talk shit in the comments of their videos.
Do they?
Like, yo, 905, like, F you and this and that. It's like, yo, chill, like, you're 12, like, you don't know that behind the scenes, off camera.
True.
You know? It's like, yeah.
Like a lot of people,
That would be,
I don't know, a lot of people just forget about that.
yeah.
The behind the scenes shit.
For sure.
I don't know.
It's different. It's like, oh yeah, another thing big in LA, the amount of like, man, when a camera turns on, everyone puts on their acting shoes.
Everyone, like, they're different? Like, they're just a whole nother person?
Bro, it's like this. I have a camera, we're just chilling, talking, having a good time.
Yeah.
I turn it on, and I'd be like, yo, Face Banks, and like, yo, Jesse from like Nelk. You know, they'll wild out, they'll crush a White Claw or something.
Damn.
But then as soon as the camera's off, it's like chilling, quiet. Everyone's just standing there in a circle.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So much of it is just for the cameras.
Interesting. So that's not even really their personality like that?
A lot of the time, no.
Huh.
It's like, it depends who it is though, right? It's like, it's
True.
different for every person. But I've seen that a few times, like David Dobrik, like, I don't know if you've seen like what's been going on.
I
with
know him, but I don't really know. I don't keep track of like all that.
Yeah,
why would happen?
Yeah, we could get into that, but I mean, like, I was there and he's filming, you know, vlogging, cameras on,
Right.
and he's telling like this person and that, yo, do this, do
Really?
that. And
So
it's
it's-
like, yo, redo that.
Interesting.
You know? It's like, it's little bits by bits, and they are planned out, but
So it's a lot more scripted than it looks.
for sure, 100%.
Even the whole like vlog thing, it's a lot more scripted.
Well, yeah, most creators now are doing vlogs by bits.
Right.
So they'll film a little bit that's funny here, a little bit that has like some sort of violence, and you know, that's like the humor they want to attract. Yeah, but not as many people doing it like the old days, just pick up the camera, vlogging their, you know,
Interesting.
day from morning to night.
I guess like, and I guess it kind of depends on how you see it, right? Like
Yeah.
if you see it more of like you're acting, not vlogging, kind of guess it depends on your perspective, eh?
Yeah.
Like if you see it as like I'm supposed to act, and that's like your job, kind of. I guess it makes sense, you know?
Yeah, but like as well, it's also different where some people they'll just keep the camera rolling 24/7.
Really?
And you know, they'll just catch whatever happens, even if it's like the lowest energy clips.
Right.
You know, just like everything organic.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's it.
I guess like it is kind of important that like I guess it is kind of important to remember that not everyone can be like that funny and that extravagant all the time, you know? Like realistically, like if you were to you know what, realistically, like if you weren't to have that on, they're probably tired, you know? Like maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably tiring really trying to keep up like a front, you know? Because I remember even doing like theater in high school, like at one point it gets tiring, like you're pretending to be someone else and you have to have like all this energy, you know? Like it's kind of like a cheetah, you know how like if they use their max speed, they're burnt out and they can't do it again, you know? It's kind of like that idea where if you put it all in, you're gonna get tired, and it makes sense.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
I guess it'd be kind of hard to do that constantly too. Do you find it challenging to always really like turn it on and sort of like have that energy, you know, like kind of come up with something new?
Personally, I think like for video ideas, that part's a process and it gets tough, you know?
Yeah.
But then in terms of like when the camera is rolling and you understand like the setting, the plot, or what the video is about,
Yeah.
for me it like comes pretty easy. Like I can always keep the energy going.
Yeah.
Even though some videos my energy is like non-existent and I need to work on that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like, yeah, it depends really what you're doing, I think.
True.
If it's scripted or just, you know, just straight run and gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've realized like with Anatolia, with like even the pod, like content is huge now, man. Like the idea of like putting shit out for people to see, just because like there's so much content out there, and if you want to be seen, you got to really have like that many more pieces of content, you know? That's the way I see it. Like I'm not much of like a content creator, but that's what I've seen, you know?
You're saying like quantity over quality? More so?
No, I guess not. I feel like there's a good balance. Like at the end of the day, you do have to have good shit if you want it to get watched. I feel like it's more, I guess what I've seen is like putting your quality up to a certain standard, keeping it at that standard, and then going quantity, you know?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again,
What do you think?
like, in that sense, I'd think of David Dobrik,
Okay.
where he did his like 4-minute, 20-second vlogs, and you know, it was all the bits that he did.
Right.
And once people accepted that kind of quality and like, you know, entertainment level, then it was just about him pushing out content like every single day,
Right.
a vlog every single day. So it's like, that's how I'd compare it to what you were saying there.
Okay, yo, so wait, what happened with him? I don't know.
No?
Is it messed up? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Really?
So
Was it a while ago?
yeah, I think it was like 2017 or 18. Someone brought up some like, I don't know how to word this, say allegations or what it was. Someone brought like the attention to the media of this vlog that he posted, and then you know, people searched up the vlog, they found it, and essentially, like I was saying, with these bits that they film,
Yeah.
not just him, other creators, it's all like scripted, you know,
Right.
do this and that. And pretty much one of his, like, I guess, older friends, like Dirty Dom, I don't know if you heard of him.
Nah, I don't.
Yeah, so like that clip, they got drunk, him and this other girl, they went into a room, and apparently, you know, it went
Oh, say
down
word.
without consent. And then like David and his friends were joking about it.
That's kind of
after that.
fucked up. They
Yeah.
joked about it?
They joked about it, and I think at the end of the video when they're in the car, he's like, yeah, if the raw footage gets leaked, we're all going to jail or something. And that's
Wow.
just like,
And then it did get leaked?
no, I don't know like the full story in
Yeah.
and outs, but I think a video like next video or the video after that, the girl was there and they're talking about, they're like, yo, Dom got his first kill, you know, and then and then David puts a camera on the girl and she said something like, yeah, but I didn't consent. And then the guy that did it was like, yeah, but if you were drunk, I was drunk too, so technically that's consent because we were both drunk.
That's so fucked.
And then they're all laughing it off. And after that, you know, like getting deeper into it, there's like clips from different like vlogs of David, you know, like putting one girl down, making fun of her appearance, her weight,
Really?
and, you know, like messing with others, making people, you know, be in bits and videos they weren't comfortable in. And yeah, pretty much he got exposed, everyone found out, and, you know, it's like, do you want to hear like more about it? Like the
I mean, is that really the general gist of it?
that is, but the biggest like takeaway, I guess, was when he uploaded a video, he's like, I'm sorry, let's talk is the title.
Yeah.
He put that on his second channel, so not his main channel with as many subs. He turned off the comments. So how are you saying let's talk, but
True.
there's no comments?
Right.
And then after that, one of his biggest sponsors, I think it was like SeatGeek or Dispo, they dropped him. So he realized like, yo, I'm losing these sponsors and all this money. I guess I better make a video for the main channel.
Yeah.
And then so he did that, but everyone knows it, like it wasn't genuine. It's because you lost your sponsors. It's like what are you doing at that point,
That's so fucked, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
And like, yeah, the fact that first of all he was joking about it clearly shows that it's not genuine. Because if it was genuine, he would have been like, he would have showed some type of resent. You know what I mean? He would have been resentful about it and been upset.
yeah.
But the fact that like even right after he's joking about it is kind of sus. Like, come on, man, you don't mean that clearly. And if you did, you would have said something earlier. Like, and if you did, actually, I feel like even if you did, you wouldn't have brought that into like your vlogs and stuff. Like that would have been something to happen like way later, or sorry, like outside of all this shit, outside of all the content. Like that's a whole other discussion to be having like on a whole nother level. That's just fucked. So like, because that's actually the first thing that popped in my mind too when you said that. I was like, because I know that he's big. I don't know anything about him and his content, but I would just the fact that I know him, he's big. Obviously, he's gonna be losing brands and sponsors. Like. That's the first thing that came to my mind. He's losing money right away. Did he lose like subs and shit after?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about like the numbers and all that.
But that obviously,
But,
right?
like, he did, yeah.
That's a stupid question. Like, who wouldn't?
And it's like, why would you even upload that back then? And
Yeah.
like now, first upload a apology video on your second channel with the comments turned off,
Yeah.
titling it "Let's Talk," and as soon as your sponsors drop you, then you start like.
Well, clearly he was just scared of the backlash. Like,
Yeah.
clearly people were gonna rip him apart in those comments.
Exactly.
Do you get hate on your comments?
Yeah.
Shut up. By
Yeah.
who?
Like 12-year-olds.
Does it faze you?
Nah, it's like sometimes people will be like, dissing your content. They're like, yo, show more emotion when I started out. Others are saying like, yo, this content's fake and this and that.
Really?
And then, yeah, some people like when I filmed like videos of like artists at a concert, like Toronto rappers like
yeah.
Pressa, Houdini and all.
Yeah.
They comment on it and they're like, man, they'd be like Houdini, like, he got killed, and they're like they're dissing him like he's dead, why are you dissing him? And they're like, yo, you're filming this, it's like you're a supporter, and it's like bringing like video guys into the beef, and it's so stupid. It's like so many different
The fact that everyone
ways.
is just allowed to like comment on that shit and like has the ability to say whatever is just ridiculous, Like anyone can just comment whatever and just be a bitch about it.
Yeah, I just like normally brush it off, but then sometimes it's just like they'll say some like yo, go off yourself and this and that.
That stuff I
Just
find kind
like-
of funny because it's like, I'm gonna go. Thanks for just because you said it, I'm gonna go do it. Like,
Yeah,
dumbass.
thanks like COD Pro 64. Like,
Yeah, a little
like-
bitch. At least have your whole name in the fucking thing. Have the same energy, Like if you're gonna be out here talking all this shit, like at least let me know what your name is,
yeah, like thanks for the view on the video and the engagement.
Facts. Thank you. Just helped me on the algorithm.
Exactly.
That's actually so true. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. But no, honestly, could care less about all that.
That's good,
it's
man.
pretty funny.
As long as you find the funny, man, I feel like you're golden. Because I feel like once people sort of like pay a little too much attention to it, then you're like, I don't know, that's kind of waste. Then you're not really doing it right, I feel. I don't know.
Just try and take the good out of it, and increase your engagement. Comment back to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I see that. Yeah, that's
I guess
how-
the other thing too, my boy had brought this up last night. I was talking to him. He was like, man, and he makes music, and he's like, bro, like, yeah, he gets hate and stuff too sometimes, talking about how it's like shit music or whatever. And he's like, bro, you just took time out of your day to comment this hateful shit, what are you doing with your life? Like,
Yeah.
if you were really busy, like, if you were really motivated and working towards your goals, you wouldn't have time to sit here and be commenting dumb shit like that, you know? Like,
True.
if you really, like, his whole point was, like, what are you doing? Like, I'm out here putting shit out. I'm putting stuff on YouTube. Meanwhile, you're commenting stuff because, like, you're a little bitch. You're a fan. Of course you're a hateful little bitch, like, you know?
Exactly.
And I totally agreed. I was like, dude, that's a good point. You gotta have to, like, see it, like, what are you doing, you know?
Just shows who you are on the inside and your true reflection of yourself,
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. And, like, if you can't,
That's how it is.
and I feel like that in itself is just important to be able to, like, portray positivity and really give that out. You know what I mean? I've always believed that, like, the energy that you put out, man, that's what you're gonna get. Like, if you're hateful and you're mean and you're grumpy, like, that's what you're gonna get, bro. Like, you can't go around commenting hateful shit on people's YouTube channels and then turn
Exactly.
around and be like, yo, can you subscribe to me? And it's like, are you fucking
Yeah.
are you fucking stupid? Like,
Yeah.
how are you gonna say that?
It's like, yeah, no, 100%. It's the power of the mind, you know?
Definitely.
What you think, what you believe,
Definitely.
it'll manifest.
Definitely. It's gonna come back. That's what I think. It's gonna come back.
For sure.
You know? So it's all about sort of like putting out what you want, you know, treating people the way you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
Because that's how you're gonna get treated. You know?
Absolutely.
If you're going around like cussing people out in traffic, or if you're like beefing an employee at an H&M about stuff that they have no business knowing, like if they have no stock, if they have no t-shirts left, and like you need this t-shirt because you need it that day, well, it's like, bro, first of all, this employee can't do shit. Second of all, it's your fault for procrastinating. You could have came a
Yeah.
week ago and got it if you really wanted to, you know?
For sure, for sure.
I feel like it's all sort of about just like understanding who you are, man. What I was saying earlier, like, look inwards. Another thing that I do believe too is like, bro, depending on the situation you're in, if you don't like it, if you're not happy with it, it's like,
Yeah.
look inward and think, what can you do to make it better?
Yeah.
I don't fuck with people who complain, because you're just gonna sit here and be a
bro,
little
don't
bitch.
even start. with
I
that.
just did. So what? You don't like people that
just
complain?
complain.
Biggest pet peeve, man.
That was me though. Like
Yeah?
a year ago, year and a
Okay.
half. I'd
So-
always. What were you saying,
So like, how did you complain? Like, what do you mean? Elaborate.
bro? It's like what we were talking about, like success and what we see on social media.
Yeah.
I always compared myself to others,
Okay.
which was huge. Like the past 2-3 months for me.
Yeah.
Always comparing myself to others and what they have. But in terms of complaining, like a year ago, I saw where people were at in their life, and I'm complaining like, yo, they don't deserve this. I've been doing this longer than them. I work harder. You know, they just got a big like cosign from someone. You know, it's like, let's say like Jake Paul shouts someone out, puts them on,
Yeah.
and they started YouTube a month ago, where I've been doing it for 2-3 years. I would complain about that back
Right.
then, and it's like I found that it was like insecurity in myself. Like even though consciously I don't realize it,
Right.
and it's like the more you focus on someone else's plate, the less you're focusing on your own.
True.
One of my boys said that recently in a video.
Good point.
It's just like, you know, don't compare your step A to someone's step Z or
True.
Z.
True.
And even though it might not seem like that, you don't know where they've been in their life, what steps they've taken.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like maybe that's just how things work out.
True.
You know, you just gotta keep grinding. And now when I see that in like a different light, and I see what those same people are doing now, I actually get inspired by it and motivated. You know, and it's like, if they can do it, and they say this as well, if they can do it, then so can I.
It's true. They're human. They're human at the end of the day, you know? Like, what are they so special about? If
Yeah.
they did it, so can you. That's pretty important to remember. But I agree, man. Like, complaining, bro, like, I've never really fucked with it, man. Like, one, it's just a bad vibe. I don't want to hear your shit. Shut up. Like
Yeah.
we're all chilling here, everything's good, everyone's happy, and you're the only one complaining. I don't fuck with that. Second of all, stop. Like if you don't like the situation, like yo, have that outer body experience and really look at yourself and evaluate yourself and question yourself and really understand like what can I do better. You know,
yeah.
how can I fix this situation? You
Exactly.
know, that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing that I've learned is like, dude, worry about yourself and figure out what you yourself can fix in this situation. I think that's huge.
One guy I know, Splash, he said this: in life, you don't get what you deserve. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you tolerate.
Interesting.
If you that hit me like a brick.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, you know, like, let's say now people are complaining about, oh, the government's not helping me, the government's locking this down, this
Yeah.
and that. It's like, you know, at the end of the day, it's all in your hands. It's different for everyone, you know, but like, let's say you're financially there, you know, you could go travel to like Florida or Texas. They have no restrictions.
Yeah.
Live your life. Like
Yeah.
anything you do, it's in your hands, your power.
Literally.
And you know, you just can't react to things out of your control. It's like, yeah, you'll live your life not how you deserve it, but more so how you accept it. And if you're just gonna cry and complain
True.
all day and, you know, sit in your room,
True.
you're not gonna get anywhere.
You're right.
Just go out there, you know, see your friends if you need to. Do, like, you know, I'm not downplaying, like, don't follow like COVID restrictions and
Right.
all. It's just like overall what the whole
Right.
message is.
Right.
You know,
Definitely.
do what you want to do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Just
And the biggest step, like the biggest thing that I was trying to preach earlier was like, dude, you have to take that first step, you know what I mean? And into like doing what you want to do. Because I feel
Right.
like the hardest thing is really like just taking that action and taking the first step. Once you have that, man, you're golden,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And then after that, everything else comes. After that, it's just more of a matter of being patient, really.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
long as you're consistent. I think that's another thing too, is like, we're not patient. Like nobody's patient anymore because
No
of like
one.
phones, whatever, like all this convenience. No one's patient and no one really understands the value in waiting, whether it's waiting a year or 2 or 3 or 4. Like the point that I had made when I was talking about this was like, Rick Ross, apparently he was writing for 10 years and he didn't even make $1 out of it, you know? But he was just writing and spit it, and then 10 years later shit happened. And like that is what aggressive patience really is like being patient on a whole nother level,
for sure.
you know?
I actually didn't hear that. About
Yeah,
him.
man. Apparently Russ was also putting shit out on SoundCloud for
Yeah,
time.
I know Russ's story,
Do you listen to Russ?
bro. I was listening to him since 2014,
Really?
2013.
I don't really listen to him like that.
And what, like, I met him in 2015. He had this
Yeah?
Toronto show,
Okay.
$20 tickets, bro.
Shut
like,
up.
Small venue.
Shut up.
And he's just saying, you know, just keep going at it, keep hammering it. He released a song every week for like, you know, 4 years or whatever it was.
No way.
Like 10 years he's been grinding. And it's like, it leads me back to my point of, in life you don't get what you deserve, but more so what you tolerate.
Yeah.
It's like, in his sense, he, like me, I ask friends to help me film YouTube videos. They tell me they're busy. I could complain about it, whatnot. He could have done that in terms of finding a producer, a mix
Yeah.
and master engineer. No, he said, you know, I'm gonna do it myself. Like he
Yeah.
said in his one song.
Yeah.
He produced his own beats, you know, wrote his own lyrics, recorded himself in the basement. And, you know, he took everything into his hands
Yeah.
and took control of his life. He didn't complain.
Yeah.
And now look where he's at.
That's
know?
another thing that I've realized too is like, man, if you want something to happen, you got to do it yourself. Like you can have a team of people to help you. Like that's dope because maybe someone's better at editing or whatever, at producing. Then that's sick. But at the end of the day, even to get them on board, you have to be the one taking those first 10 steps. You have to be you have to put in that initial work, and you have to do it yourself if you want everything else to kind of fall into place. You can't really rely on other people, especially if you're just beginning at doing something. You can't rely on other people because it's like, realistically, what leverage do you have? Like, are you going to pay them? If you can pay them, that's
Absolutely.
different. But if you can't, like, I can't pay nobody right now to do shit. But like, It's like if I want someone to do something or help me with anything, like you just got to reach out, and if they do, they do. But if they don't, you have to understand that it's in your hands. You know, to your point.
For sure.
You got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
It's like I had like personally, like I think 2 months ago or so, I was just like complaining about like so much, man. I do so much for other people, like in whatever it may be, like in the music industry, you know, like producing beats or editing this person's video, or you know, helping this person with their video, and then I wouldn't have time for myself.
Right.
And it's like it took a toll on me too, like mentally, and it's like I'm thinking that I deserve them to pay me back in a way, you know? It's like I don't deserve shit from them, if I'm being honest.
Right.
And from there, it's like I tried to help people out just from like the own generosity of my own heart.
Right.
And also like when I shifted my energy there and like my thought process, I thought to myself, like in other aspects of life as well, like, you know, it's I don't want to get too deep into it, but like in terms of my health and stuff, you know, when I neglected that, it's like at that point I realized, like, who's gonna help me if I'm not taking care of my health? I'm stressing over like 5, 6, 7, 8 different business ventures. You know, you gotta slow down and just like, you know, realize that you are like the mastermind behind everything you do.
Yeah.
And that's what got me to try and, you know, take it slower and make sure that I'm good, I'm healthy, my mind's right.
Yeah.
And from there I can do everything that I need to get done.
And to your point of slowing down too, I think that's pretty important, man. Like bro, we're like 22, 23 years old, like what are we really in a rush for? And like even people who are like 30, 40, like even then it's like you don't necessarily have to rush, like just take it slowly, bro. Like so many of us see all this shit on YouTube, all this stuff on social media, and kind of expect that because this dude is 25, 26 and he's got all this money and all these whips, I'm supposed to have that too. You know what I mean? But
right.
But dog, you're 22, you're 23. Like, what are you talking about? Like, chill out and like live a little bit. You know what I mean? See some shit in life. Talk to people and like learn. You know? Stop trying to chase all this shit that has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You know? It's not like you're gonna die. And well, I guess you could die tomorrow. You don't know. But my point is like all this tech and all this vitamins and all these supplements, like you can go a long time. You're not even halfway to, you know, the average death. Mm-hmm. So like you have all this time. Even someone who's 30, 40, like that's really maybe when you should start kind of taking those steps and taking shit a little bit more seriously. But until then, man, like I feel like we all have to sort of just relax and forget about Nelk, you know, forget about whoever is out here flashing stuff. It's like, yo, I'm on my own wave.
Everyone has their own, like, you know, their own journey.
Definitely.
And even I need to work on that and stop like comparing so much to. I'm doing better at it now, but just like realizing, you know, that maybe this person's been doing it longer. Maybe this person got lucky and got some help there. You know, you don't know their stories.
Yeah, you don't.
And another thing too, like everyone's going through something. So even though, you know, it might look like it's all like sunshine and rainbows over there, you don't know what that person's dealing with.
You're right.
Just like focus on yourself.
You're right, definitely. Yeah. And it's crazy, like it's just crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It's just crazy because like we just forget like
like
all that stuff in the background, like
yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man.
In all aspects of life.
Yeah. There's just so many aspects that like it's just easy to forget about. I don't know. Just focusing on yourself is super important.
How do you think you are in terms of like focusing on yourself?
I think I'm much better now, to be honest. I don't necessarily compare myself to other people, but to your point, I use it as like inspiration more so. And being like someone who's very competitive in nature, I just enjoy competing in the sense where it's like, okay, he can do it, bet, that's inspiration, I can keep going, I can keep doing it too.
For sure.
As opposed to saying like, bro, he's got all this stuff, like they're traveling, they're doing all this, why am I not doing it? Instead of complaining about it, I just sort of see it as like another reason to keep going. It's sort of like, sick, let's go. That just gives me an example of like, if I keep working and putting the time in and the effort in, that's where I could get to, you know? So I see it as more like competition and inspiration. And I think I've been better at sort of seeing myself and evaluating myself within the last like 8 months. I think I've done like a lot of, no, not even like 8 months, man. Maybe like 10, close to a year. I've done like a pretty good job of like understanding myself, understanding like my worth, you know. That's a huge reason why I've been like sober for so long too. Well, not like so long, since September, but for a lot of people, I guess like nowadays that's pretty a long time. But my point is like I realized like my self-worth, and I realized like what I was doing with these intoxicating substances, you know, and I realized like I don't need that. And the fact that I was able to even see that from an outside point of view of like what my life was like and what I was really doing, how I was spending my money. I think that's a big step for me, you know, just being able to see that.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. How do you see yourself, bro?
Say that again?
How do you see yourself?
And like, in terms of like focusing on my goals and myself, or?
Yeah, like how do you, like, I know that's a very, very broad question, but like, how do you see yourself? What kind of person do you think you are?
I don't know. I think I'm a good person.
Yeah,
I have a good
you seem
heart.
like a good person. Yeah. I know you're a good guy.
You too, Ozgur.
Thanks, man.
I'm just trying to inspire people, you know.
Thanks, man. So am
Motivate people.
That's dope. That's kind of been the whole thing behind like this, behind like Anatolia, has been like, yo, just trying to like foster and facilitate a whole new wave of motivation and inspiration, you know, like we were talking about earlier, people are too focused on other stuff, on other people. It's like, yo, just inspire people, inspire those who really need it to forget about that and just kind of like work on their own selves and give them reasons and examples of what happens when you do so, you know? Especially with Anatolia, that's all been like about inspiration and motivation too. It's been like trying to, you know, facilitate a better next generation, especially at-risk youth, you know, like those who need it. I don't know, man. Everything's just been about like sharing wisdom and sharing and like motivating and like learning. At the end of the day, like when we speak here like this, it's like we're educating each other and we're educating whoever happens to listen, you know. And I think that's one of the biggest things I'm trying to do is educate, learn, inspire, motivate.
A huge part, bro, was like I was so like, you know, driven to chase materialistic things.
Yeah, naturally. Everyone is, you know, like it makes sense like in this society. Yeah.
You think so?
I think a lot of people are.
Okay.
Why?
No, it's like I honestly thought I was like one of like the only few. Like I don't know. I see all these YouTubers and like social media stars, specifically like the big guys that are doing it big, Jake Paul, and people, the label they put on him with like, you know, all his flexing and this and that. Some people have told me, like people we went to high school with, that I need to stop the flexing and this and that and chasing material stuff. And then I don't want to be labeled as like a douchebag or you know, just like compared to like Jake Paul's a sick guy, like, you know, he's not everything the media portrays him to be. Like when I met him, he's a good guy, but I just don't want to be labeled as like a douchebag or a bad guy, and it's like that's part of it.
I know what you mean,
like,
man.
I don't know how, if others are similar to me in that sense, or
it's weird. Like I think a lot of people, I don't know, man. I think I'm more so speaking like very generally and broadly, just speaking about culture, like speaking about YouTube and content, and also like just music, culture, pop culture. Like it's all just about material things now. So that's just what I'm speaking on. But I don't know. That's just what I've noticed.
Bro, you know? Like one guy, I think he's a local YouTuber.
Yeah?
He's just getting started. He slid up on one of my Snapchat stories when I was with Jake Paul, And he's like, yo, this is crazy. You're doing like what my dreams are. You're really chilling with these people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that hit me like differently, like on a different
Right.
spot. And it just like said it's inspiring him. And that was like the first time really that someone said that to me. And I knew it wasn't no fluff, no BS, because he's really trying to do what I'm doing or going to do and what these YouTubers are doing. And I just like took it in, and it's like it makes you feel so much better that you're actually motivating someone, inspiring them,
Yeah.
trying to help people out without even knowing that you're doing that.
I feel like people kind of forget or even just don't know the feeling of ecstasy and euphoria that you can't get from any drug or any substance that you get when you do inspire, when you do motivate, when you do help. Like, it's a whole nother feeling that you get.
For sure.
And I think it's like important that more people feel that, so that we become a little bit more giving, so that we're not so selfish and like focused on material shit,
For sure.
I think it's important. But nah, the other thing, before our shit starts dying off, that I need to know from you, bro, is just whether it's in life or just the stuff that you've learned, what are your executive rules? Just stuff that
my
people,
executive rules.
yeah, like stuff that people need to know to be that high level executive, to be that high level, to get to that point. What do people need to know from your experience that you've seen?
So I can talk from experience. I'd say never take no for an answer and go after what you want. But that's like surface level. If we're talking about what to actually do, it's like what I just said.
Right.
Do what you want, like seriously.
Yeah.
I honestly believe like these past 3 months I had this one opportunity to really do what I want in a certain aspect of my life, in terms of my goals, like as a social media creator or influencer, YouTuber, whatever you want to call it. I had this one opportunity to, just grab it by like the neck and just pull it in. And I truly believe if I did that, I'd be in a much different place right now in terms of reaching my goals. I think I'd be more so like where I'd ideally want to be at right now in like my YouTube career.
Right.
It's like the opportunity was there, not directly, but more so it just, I don't know how to put it. It just leads me back to do what you want, and I think it's about taking control of your life, really doing what you want, and things will play out in your favor. And if you don't take action and do what you want and chase after, what you think you deserve, then it's never gonna come to you. And that's one part I'm disappointed in myself in, not following that executive rule of mine, right? And I think things would have turned out differently. That's it.
But I think it's also important not to be disappointed in the sense where like you kind of like you should like like accept it, but like learn from it, like we were saying earlier. Like sure, like maybe you didn't follow that rule, but now to damn well follow that rule next time,
like know damn well, you know? It's like, no, I'm over it now, and it's like I know I'm on the right path and everything, but when I say like don't take no for an answer and really do what you want to do,
right?
Because I like during this like whole opportunity that like that I just missed, I was thinking like, yo, should I do this, or what will these people think of me? But if I just did what I wanted to do, I truly think things would be different. But
so you were just kind of worried about what people would think. Interesting. I think that's very important to like just in life, like remember that what you're doing is for you, like you're to your point, like that's what you want to do, like that makes you happy. and kind of forgetting about regardless of what people think about you, you know. And like at the end of the day, we're humans, you know. Like that's like we're gonna be worried about what people think of me or whatever. But I think it's just pretty interesting that, you know, we're just naturally so worried about that type of shit. When you know when you have experiences like that, you sort of figure out like, I don't need to be worried about that, you know. You kind of figure out that like you said, you're doing it for you, and you're doing it because you want to do it because it makes you happy, you know.
And it's like that whole point leads me to like in that moment, it's like I was doing things for other people that truthfully I didn't have to do. I just did it out of like the good of my heart and trying to help people out.
That's dope.
So even if I you know, I did what I wanted to do, who cares what they think? If anything, they might like that I'm really just, you know, doing me.
Yeah, you're right.
And then from there, it's like it's a win-win situation, and
definitely,
you know, we're all having fun with it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's pretty important to know. To like have fun with it, you know.
Yeah. For sure. Like, you know, if you're doing something you don't enjoy, then why are you even doing it?
True. Yeah.
So that's another big part of life for me.
Make sure you love it, eh?
Yeah.
I definitely see that. Like, a lot of people just aren't happy, who are like in some factory job just because like they're comfortable, you know. And that's another thing that I've like always been an advocate of, is like, yo, don't get comfortable. Like, once you're kind of okay with the position you're in, then you're not necessarily going to get to where you want to be, you know. Like, someone has a 9-to-5 or someone has a factory job, like, sure, they pay the bills and they pay the mortgage, but at the end of the day, like, because of that comfort, you're not able to do what you want to do, you know, and be in that position that you want to be in.
I always say this, and I think comfort will kill any dream before anyone else kills your dream.
Definitely.
You know?
Comfort will kill you, bro. Comfort and hope as well. I believe hope will kill you. Shawshank Redemption, bro, he says that, like, hope will kill you or whatever, and I kind of agree. Like, I feel like you have to be realistic, you know. I think you should have hope. You should have positivity, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like banking everything you have on hope and like hoping is different. You can't just keep hoping for shit. Like, you gotta take action and do it, you know? Like, stop hoping that something's gonna happen. Instead, like, make it happen is my point, you know?
For sure.
So, I don't know, man.
It's like Lil Baby and Gunna said on that one song.
What'd they say?
I think it was in Drip Too Hard. I don't know the exact lyrics, but essentially, you know, you can't just hope. You gotta put in the work.
Yeah, you have to.
You can't just sit on your ass and, you know, hope for, you know, to reach your goals.
Yeah.
You gotta put in the work.
You do.
Yeah.
It's time to wake up. Get up your ass, man. Because at the end of the day, like, if you want anything to happen, like, to our point earlier, like, you're the only one who can do so.
Exactly.
So, I don't know, man.
It all relates, full circle.
Yeah, it honestly does all relate. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I don't really have any other questions for you, bro.
It's a wrap.
Do you have anything you want to add, man?
No, I think I'm good. I really enjoyed this, though.
So did I, man. It's very nice, like, talking to, like, people on, like, a different level.
Yeah.
About serious shit.
Yeah.
Not just something stupid. Yeah.
Not even that. Just, like, I've done a few other interviews, like, podcasts, you know? But just, like, I found this was way more relaxed.
Really?
I was more comfortable.
That's dope. I'm happy to hear that. Why were you not comfortable in the other ones?
I don't know. It was just, like, maybe the vibes or just the questions being asked. Like, this is a podcast, correct?
Yeah.
So I find podcasts are a lot more open.
Definitely.
Ended, where interviews, it's like just question after question.
Sure.
And it's like podcasts like this one allow you to go into other topics as things progress.
Definitely. I agree. That's kind of why I've enjoyed it so far, is just because it's like, we're just chatting, you know, like, it's not that serious where I'm like, where I have like a list of questions that the fucking PR team put together. Like, nah, bro, we're just cooling it. Like,
Just chilling.
Dead
Having
ass.
a good time.
Deadass, bro. That's what it's all about.
Sick though. I really like what you're doing and like
Thanks,
the
man.
whole purpose behind it.
Thanks, bro.
You know?
I mean, like, if all this pops off and we go viral, then that's just like the cherry on top, you know?
Yeah.
But that's not really like the whole idea. It's a hobby, it's fun, you know? Just get to talk to motherfuckers like you know? Like, that's really what it's about.
And like the whole meaning behind all this, and you know what you're trying to get across, like your message and
Right,
who you're trying to help out there.
right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Not sick.
Appreciate it. But anyway, man, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. I appreciate you being here,
Appreciate
bro.
you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
my guy. Thank you.